Don Kaufman here. It's June 4th, 2025, doing the TheoTrade evening update on a Wednesday afternoon. So here we are. There's just about, 50 minutes to go to the cash close. The S&Ps largely grinding sideways right now. I love to say they are massively unchanged. Really, most of this trading session has been rather a grind. The volume in the S&P futures, look at this, 859,000 contracts. We're going to be lucky to do like 1 million contracts to close today, which is, it's light and fluffy out there, people. We're just grinding in this marketplace. But there's one topic that I want to cover, and I think it's critically important to kind of understand this, and I'm just going to lay it out on the line for you right here, right now, and that's this. I believe that this marketplace is dramatically underestimating some of the risks inherent. I mean, we can talk about tariffs to basically blue in the face and so forth, but from a risk reward standpoint, I would be remiss not to mention this just does not look favorable. And there's a couple of trades we can actually take on that particular front. And again, I'm going to keep this short and I'm going to keep it sweet because, look at the marketplace right now, just grinding higher. And, some of the stuff that's grinding higher right now, okay, a lot of smaller no-name stocks. We're back to nuclear. We're buying some garbage in this marketplace. And that to me is again, it's a sign maybe a little bit of a froth in the marketplace. But look, I'm just not even going to sugarcoat it. I'm not trying to bear up on anybody, but is there more upside potential in this market? Okay, plausibly, the answer is yes. There is more upside potential in this marketplace, but the downside risks, okay, I believe outweigh some of the upside potential. And when you get kind of this kind of imbalance in a risk reward, I think it's opportunistic. And again, I'm just going to tell you right now, there are a lot of trades that we can take, here to the upside of the marketplace. And I'm fine. If people want to get bullish, right? But all I'm basically stating is the upside potential in the marketplace, okay, may be rather minimal versus some of the incredible downside risks. And right now, I'm going to tell you, I don't see it necessarily priced into volatility. If you look at VIX, VIX is not a great indication because VIX is, 1750. And I believe the floor in volatility is somewhere around 1750. But if you look actually at the volatility futures, they're already pricing, okay, the July volatility, the July VIX to be 20 half. So there already is, okay, a considerable amount more risk being priced into the volatility futures. Basically, the future of volatility basically says, hey, vol's going to go up. That is what's being implied by these volatility futures contracts. So some of that is already priced in. So if you try to take a trade in the VIX, I don't mind saying this, you try to take a trade in the VIX isn't pricing off of 1750. The VIX is actually pricing itself already above 20. So the VIX is even saying no, look, volatility has a pretty good chance of going up. Therefore, to me, the trade to take is probably in a place, like the spiders. And it would, in fact, be a bearish trade where I would go out and take a shot on the downside, a month out in time. Because again, as I stated to you, I just think that there's times where risk reward in the overall marketplace can be extraordinary. It can be really, really viable. And this to me appears to be one of those times. And when I'm talking about risk reward, I'm just, again, I want to reiterate exactly my stance over here. The upside that we've had, okay, has been rather magnificent, since the market lows. It's been magnificent. Look, the S&Ps, let's just talk about trading 500, and now we're trading basically 600. Now, what's 100 SPY points amongst friends? It's wild, right? It's 1,000 S&P points that we've rallied. And although I still believe that there can still be more upside, okay, again, I think that there's a ceiling in here. Even if we were to hit market highs, there's a ceiling in here. And that ceiling, in spider terms, may only be 20 points higher. That's in SPX terms, that's 200 points higher. But the downside risks could be massive. And there's a lot of great trades we can take for that downside. In fact, what I'm alluding to is something I'm going to be talking about extensively over the next couple of days here at TheoTrade. I mean, we're in a situation right now. We're still a tweet or a post, a Truth Social post away from an all-out trade war. And the rhetoric that you're hearing like out of China and out of the United States, it's not good. Okay. And again, this is, that part is the rhetoric is like more opinion based. Okay. But it does appear that we're starting to posture to come into some type of prolonged trade war. And frankly, I just don't see it priced in the marketplace. So is this a wild game of chicken? Absolutely, unequivocally, yes. I think it is a wild game of chicken. I think it's the S&Ps are running straight into a brick wall, okay, that could drop them like a rock. And that's exactly why I'm telling you. I think that the risk reward right now, and again, I don't want to sit here and get all bared up with no place to go. Okay. That's not the intent of this discussion. The discussion that I'm having with you today is, okay, look, you can get all the bullish you want, but I think there's a limited upside potential, okay, in the next, let's say, 2 to 3 months versus downside risks. Downside risks, okay, are perilous. There's some huge downside risks versus that upside potential in this marketplace. And that is what I really want to embody over the next couple of days as I go through a number of strategies right here at TheoTrade to cover exactly that. Like, what can we do when the risk reward, okay, and you may see it as well. You may think the same exact thing. Like, what can we actually do to take advantage of, okay, that kind of imbalance, if you will, with risk reward. All right, that's it for this evening's video. Thanks everybody for tuning in here to TheoTrade. Again, the S&Ps on this Wednesday afternoon, for the most part, massively unchanged. Have a good evening, everybody. Bye-bye.